Hello and welcome to our second official live show. You may have seen me have what I believe is now an infamous 23-minute rant about Drive Club last week, um, which many people have told me I didn't need to actually do for that long. But joining me this week on our live show, I've got Steve again, and we have Johnny. How you
Evening.
doing, gents?
Not bad yourself.
Yeah, good. Not too bad. It's tired. I've got alcohol for a Wednesday night, so yeah.
I'm on the water because alcohol makes me ill at the
I
minute.
got I got this, and I'm quite impressed. I thought it'd be rank. It's, bourbon flavoured beer by Dead Crow.
That does actually sound rank. That sounds terrible.
But you know what? It actually tastes really good. Um, yeah. So plan for tonight is we're going to do away with all the negativity.
Mm.
We're not allowed to bitch or moan about anything gaming wise
I
tonight.
might as well just leave now. Right.
No, you've got a chance to prove to people your reputation is not true.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
And I thought what we'll do, kick it off with something topical, I suppose. It's the 5th of November. So, what do we, let's say,
Let's
we'd
talk
like
about
to talk about
Fantavision.
women in games
No.
and try and tackle that tough issue, or our favourite fireworks games, of which there's probably two.
I want to say, Johnny just mentioned Fantavision, which is something I never played. So you two can talk about Fantavision for a bit, because I've just no idea.
So I came quite late to the PS2, but I did buy Fantavision because it was about £1, I believe, and I did manage to get a non-zero amount of fun out of it. I'm not sure if I can say much else about it. No, it's difficult to describe. It's a weird fireworks blowing up game where a segment of fireworks will come up from the bottom of the screen. Then you have to select them in color order, and then ignite them to make the nicest firework display. It is possibly the weirdest game that I've ever played.
So is it a puzzle game, or is it a rhythm action game, or...
No, it is a fireworks game.
Yeah.
That's incredibly useful, thanks.
Yeah, I know. I don't really have much else to say about it other than that, but it's just utterly bizarre. Like I don't know where they got the idea from.
The most specific genre in the history of video games.
Fireworks Destination Simulator. You watch. There's Farming Simulator, and you've got Euro Truck Simulator. There'll be November the 5th Simulator coming soon.
What, where you have to infiltrate the Houses of Parliament and try and lay explosives? I can't
No,
see it going down very well.
That's
I'll tell you
Pomeranian.
what, that'd be an instant upgrade to Assassin's Creed, the next Assassin's Creed, where you actually try to blow up Parliament.
It wouldn't surprise me if they shifted one of the Assassin's Creeds into England, because they're going to run out of European cities to go through sooner or later, or interesting European cities to go through sooner or later. So
2000s Prague, where you can go for a strip and a steak. No, back to Fantavision before we go off tangent already. I don't know if it was a case of a game of the time, coming from the PS1 to the PS2, and I was blown away by it. I know I like games anyway. I can find fun in the most turgid game that most people tend to hate, but um, it was Fantavision. It was just almost like at the time getting it the day, well, in that at least year that it came out. It was a case of it just looked stunning. The graphics weren't blocky like we was used to on the PS1.
yeah.
It was, it's the almost like the upgrade to HD. It was like these were real fireworks, and you were making them explode. And it's a game that I don't. Part of me wants to go back and play, but I think once I'd finished it originally, it was probably sat in my collection until I took it to a boot sale and sold it for like 20p. But I enjoyed it, and to be honest, it's part of me, as I said to Steve before we actually went live, part of me would love to see a proper AR fireworks game on the Vita, where you actually use the night sky on the Vita and explode fireworks in the air for real. Well, not for real, but in augmented reality, because it was just a dumb fun game. There was no stress to it. There was no point to it. There was a bit of high score chasing, but I don't think I remember playing it to beat high scores. I just played it because I liked seeing fireworks explode without potential of them going off in my face.
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing someone else thought it was a good game by the fact that a semi remake was made on Xbox Live Arcade.
They weren't actually related, were they?
I don't
I
know.
don't. No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
they were. I think they're just the only thing they had in common whether they had fireworks in them.
Yeah, because I'm guessing you're on about Boom Boom Rocket at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, so like Fantavision was more of it was a weird combo-based, I guess a puzzle game is the best way of describing it, rather than my useless fireworks game suggestion earlier. Whereas Boom Boom Rocket it was a rhythm game that accidentally had fireworks in it as well, I guess.
I played a shitload of Boom Boom Rocket. It was great. It was kind of clunky, but there was something about it that was just I could never get more than kind of like the grade below perfect consistently because the 360 D-pad was terrific. But there was something ridiculously charming about it. Although I have a vague recollection of people screaming at Bizarre for why weren't they working on PGR, whichever one it was, and working on this silly little rhythm action game that had classical music, dance and rock versions of classical music, which were excellent in their own right if you like that kind of thing. But no, Boom Boom Rocket was great. I loved it.
It actually almost answered the question there. Why was it so good? And Bizarre Creations.
Yeah.
Look at what they done with Geometry Wars. When you look at that, that was a silly little puzzle side game for PGR
Yeah.
that seems to have transcended what it was originally, transcended PGR, and is probably as wanted by gamers as PGR is itself.
Mm.
They just seem to have a knack of making good games. Under their new studio they've got now. Geometry Wars 3. As much as I'm not overly keen on the upcoming 3D type levels, you just know it's going to be fantastic because they just know how to make games. And I think Boom Boom Rocket is a great example of that.
Yeah, it's just a funny. It's something that I've kind of meant to go back to a long time ago, and then, well, you know how you leave stuff on. In fact, I don't even know if I know Johnny doesn't have a 360 anymore. You don't have a 360 anymore either, do you?
Nope.
See, I've still got my 360, and I still play bits and bobs on it, but I've made the leap from the 360 to like the PS4 and Xbox One more wholly than I expected to be. I didn't expect to like spend most of my time on either of the new consoles. I thought, I'll dip in and out of them, and then I'll go through my massive back catalogue on the 360 and PS3. The PS3 was unplugged for weeks because I was switching the PS4 between downstairs and upstairs, and so I kind of looked through my Xbox Live catalogue that's still on the hard drive downstairs, and there's like 150 games or something, and I go past it because there's always something else to play. But I really want to go back to it now. I really want to play
There you go.
it. Yeah, because I ain't got enough to play already.
I miss my 360 and the collection of XBLA games I had on it. But it was a case for me of I bought into the PlayStation ecosystem. I don't regret it at all. But there was just so many quality games on the 360 that I'd love to go back to. And I suppose it's the one thing that's a bit upsetting about the way the console games work. I can still go back and play whatever on Steam. I'm limited by, what I can do on my PC. If I really wanted to, I could get an MS-DOS game working, even though it's not strictly compatible. I can get it working. So if I wanted to go back and play Jeff Cranborne's Grand Prix 2, I can go and do that. Looks are evolved and games like that on the PC that we can go back and play if we want. but I can't go back and play Boom Boom Rocket, not without now buying a new buying an old console, setting up a brand new account because I got rid of my account at the same time,
Right.
and buying it again, it is a shame. Um, it's one of those I'd love to see one of Sony or Microsoft, one of them, to go. Do you know what? Look at what Nintendo are doing with the Virtual Console. Let's do that. Let's do something to try and get as many of our old games working as possible. If it's through emulation and we charge people again, so be it. But at least give them the option for it. I'd love to see that.
It's just Nintendo are in the very unique position is that they own
They own
practically
everything.
everything they put on there. So, red tape and all that shit's going to end up tying it up quite severely.
Yeah, I don't like licensing. It's why sort of like you need to do things like unblock us on for Netflix and stuff like that because licensing's just stupid. And the fact you've got some games on US PSN that you can't get on UK PSN because of licensing. It's I really fancy playing Buster Move the other day, and you can get that on US PSN as a PS1 classic. It works on the Vita. Can't get it in the EU. It's
Really?
annoying.
Yeah.
But in saying that, as much as I want to play it and I fancy playing it, it'd probably be a waste of a couple of quid because there's just so much out and coming out on a constant stream. It just makes it ridiculously hard to keep up.
This is it. I mean, it's this past couple of weeks has been disgusting in its amazing. I mean, it's the typical Christmas season because at the beginning of this year, because when it looked like when things started slipping, and it's like, oh, this has gone back and this has gone back and everything else has gone back, and then you're kind of left with the HD makes that are coming out. But then we've had, well, I said I've had Forza Horizon 2, Sunset Overdrive, Bayonetta 2, Call of Duty. Then there is Master Chief Collection next week. And then there's another Assassin's Creed, if that's your kind of thing. There's Shadows of Mordor, which I ain't got around. That weren't on my radar until reviews started coming in. And that's just off the top of my head. I don't even know what else I'm missing. I mean, Far Cry, if you like that kind of thing. I didn't get on with Far Cry 3, but there you go. Still played it for 20 hours. But yeah, it's just like every year. It's just although it's cut, the last like 3 years before this have all been amazing, and so this one looks a bit pale in comparison. But there's still shed loads of brilliant stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, I was as initially said when stuff started slipping, I was a bit gutted when like Battlefield Hardline was pushed back because I really got into Battlefield 4 in the end. I was like, that's a shame. Or when the order got pushed back, I was like, well, another thing slipping into 2015. Evolve, that was originally due out about now, been pushed back, obviously. Project Cars has been pushed back. The Crew has been delayed till December. Wouldn't surprise me if that hits into 2015 as well. But then I'm just looking at what's coming over the next few weeks, and we are spoilt for games. You take up all the indies out of the equation, all of them, and just look at the AAA titles, the big budget titles. You still got Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty's just come out, Far Cry 4. You've got a last gen Assassin's Creed, GTA 5, which I was originally just partly going, yeah, do you know what? I'm happy to see it. I haven't look at it, but they've added a first-person mode. And
Yeah,
a totally different game.
I was entirely out up until they posted that, but I think I still might be out because I can't really afford another game that I've literally only just sold because I've only just finished it. I can't do that. That's just ridiculous.
But it's when you look at it and just go, do you know what? There is so many good games coming out. There's not. I don't think there's really much of a bad game anymore that gets released. You look back on the PS2 era games, PS1, Mega Drive. You go back to the Spectrum, Commodore, stuff like that. and you look at the amount of junk that got released because there seems to be a lack of quality control. Now, people have their opinions on an Assassin's Creed or a Far Cry or a GTA and Call of Duty. They're not bad games. You might not enjoy them. You might not enjoy those specific mechanics, but they are not bad games. They're well made. There's a few bugs here and there. You know, we can talk about about Drive Club all we like, but we've lost.
Yeah, just his connection keeps dropping. He keeps missing 50% of the conversation.
Okay, so yeah, back into two of
Just me
us.
and thee. Hey.
There you go. It will be a fairly short one today then, because we'll probably annoy each other at some point. Um, but yeah, you've got to say that there isn't. What game of late can you literally look at and just go, that is a terrible game?
This
It's
is it.
badly made, apart from maybe NBA Live last year, which got crucified because it was broken. And I mean, not even Drive Club broken, it was broken.
Right.
It's not a bad game.
I don't know, because I've said for a while that there's very few actual poor games about these days. There's games you might not like because they're not your cup of tea, and there's games that are very much middle at road. But you know, most games. I mean, my memory's terrible. Actually, I've sold all my games. My memory's terrible, so I couldn't. There's bound to be some I've played which I thought that was absolute dross. It's like Assassin's Creed 4, right? Assassin's Creed 4, I played for like 50 hours, and played it to the end. But I couldn't recommend it to anybody because it's all right. I don't know why I played it for 50 hours, but it's like it was still. I must have found something out of it because I played it. But it's not like I could it's rubbish and throw it through a bloody window. It was all right, you know. Some people loved it, and fair play. But you know, it's just one of them things. I mean, no, I can't actually think of. It's like Nintendo Land, right? Nintendo Land. Everybody loves Nintendo Land that I kind of interact with. But it's all right. It's a series of mini games that probably better if you've actually got friends to play it with, because there's no online mode or anything like that. But I said that. I said, you know, it's probably great if you've got people to play it with. And then obviously a load of people jumped on the bandwagon and said, oh, I play it on my own and I think it's great. So it's like, oh, subjective, fine. But even then I can see that the quality is in there. It's just, it's not, I just don't get on with it. So.
I mean, there's plenty of games that I find it very difficult to actually review at times, because once I want to review a game based on this is purely my enjoyment factor out of it, you do need to be subjective as well. You need to sort of understand these mechanics are 100% perfect, this is slightly wrong, the graphics aren't the most amazing graphics. You know, you have to pick up on that. And when I reviewed Assassin's Creed Black Flag, that was a hard one to review because I enjoyed it. It was Assassin's Creed. I played it through. It was Assassin's Creed, and go on like that. You know, my favourite Assassin's Creed is probably the second one. Wasn't a big fan of many that followed it. I liked the pirate stuff that came with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but it was clear that it was a game that was made for next-gen consoles and looked like it was ported backwards to PS3 and 360.
Which is ironic because the PS4 version doesn't look much better. So it's the whole thing of, that's another thing at the minute, is that there's so many games that straddle the divide. It's like Watch Dogs. I'm pretty sure we've talked about this, so I'm not going to go into it. But you know, they until the last gen is jettisoned, I'm not sure we're going to see much improvement. But I mean, but to go, you know, on the other side of that, I'm more interested in Assassin's Creed Rogue. Is that what it's called?
I know nothing of it whatsoever. But that is the one it's called, yeah.
Yeah, but aside from having the most Irish of Irish protagonists, which is hilarious, he's got some incredibly convoluted Irish name. But it sounds more like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, because all the pirating stuff was great. All the pirating stuff was awesome. In typical Ubisoft fashion, the middle of the game, the bit with the story, was bollocks. It was rubbish. But the actual bit of, you know, running around the the seas and looting and plundering and shooting ships and diving wrecks and all that stuff. That was amazing. It was great. And then you kind of got back to the land and think, oh, I ought to unlock some more story stuff. And you have to creepy behind a bloke, and you have to stay inside the circle. And oh Jesus, I'd rather shove my thumbs in my eyes. It was horrific. Still finished it, but it's just oh, God.
But there's other people that would be the complete opposite of you and would love the other parts and hate the pirating stuff.
I can't see how they would, because the other parts are rubbish. See, this is the thing,
there
right?
are people that will like that. It's you know, we had a guy review which Assassin's Creed was it? I'm gonna say 3. And he loved it. He loves Assassin's Creed. He's loved 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, blah blah blah, whatever all the other ones and in between bits were. He loves them all, and he absolutely adored Assassin's Creed 3 because he's just bought into it all completely. And he got vilified for that review. He gave it a high mark, got vilified for it. And I'm not a big fan of that because, sure, his opinion was he loved that game. So why shouldn't he write it and give it high marks if he really enjoyed it? As long as he can put across why he enjoyed it.
It depends if you put it depends, because you're expressing an opinion. But you've got to bear in mind that there are going to be faults that, even though you're quite happy to, I play some right shit. I play games that people consider to be just rubbish, which is fine. But I can see the faults in it, but I'll still play it. Saints Row 2 is a very good. I mean, although Saints Row 2's got a very dedicated core, but there's no denying that it's wonky as shit. The first Saints Row was pretty bad. Second Saints Row was hilarious, even though it was wonky as shit. But you can't go, you say, oh, it's better than GTA, whichever it wasn't. I forget what time it came out. It might have been 4, just before 4, I think. I don't know. But it's like, I mean, like Saints Row 4. Saints Row 4 was fantastic. I enjoyed it more than I played GTA 5. GTA 5 was a more technically competent game on every single level, to a point where it takes the piss. But Saints Row 4 was basically playing GTA Crackdown, and it was amazing. So to the point where I am going to buy it when it comes out in January again, because I'm that guy, and I'm going to buy it with Gat Out of Hell. So it's just there's just so many games that are worth playing. There's neither the time nor the money for it.
No.
And it's just, I just find it difficult to believe that people could spend so much time pissing and moaning about somebody liking something when they could be doing something like playing their games they like. I just find that a bit sad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we look at it, and I'm not bringing it up in terms of we're going to go into great detail and start abusing it.
Move.
But we discussed it. Obviously, my review for Drive Club is where do I go with it? Because regardless of its issues, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the mechanics of it, the driving, the going through the single player. Take away all the community options. It's the next best thing to a PGR sequel that we can have. Now, PGR, the single
you haven't got
player,
an Xbox One.
PGR single player had no interaction with the multiplayer.
Mm.
And it was brilliant for what it did. Now, I'm not saying Drive Club's as good as PGR. PGR is still the better game. PGR 3 is better. PGR 2 is better. In fact, for me, PGR is probably one of the best racing series of all time.
Yeah.
I'd say that along with the original TOCA series. But I had to go. If it was me, I want to go. I was going. I like it. I really like it. It's worth playing. I can ignore the issues because I'm happy doing this side of it. I don't care about the racing online. I'm not overly bothered about the community stuff. It's just a shame that then has to come into it because it unlocks new cars based on how your club's doing, and the challenges that are integrated with it, they're broken at times. It makes it very difficult to review because I want to go play it, enjoy the single player, but I know I can't at the same time.
No, if they hadn't made such a big deal about it, it would have probably been easier. I mean, I sold my copy because, for a few reasons, underneath it all, there is a very good game.
Yeah.
but it's broken by the obvious, which is at that time none of the social stuff work, which was integral to getting things unlocked. Two, I know we talked about this. The AI did my head in because it was needlessly aggressive, a bit stupid at times. And also the other thing that kind of made me sell it was Forza Horizon 2, because Forza Horizon 2 is better in every single way. Because it works in every single way. It's not so much the social aspect or Microsoft versus Sony or whatever. It's just. I mean, did you ever play the original Forza Horizon?
Yes, I really enjoyed it. Yes.
It is, to all intents and purposes, more of the same, with all the bad bits tweaked, so it's better.
Which is
Not
what you want from the sequel.
That's pretty much what I thought. Although, Crackdown 2 was more of the same, although it was literally more of the same. So, and that wasn't as good.
I think Crackdown. I still can't play Crackdown, even the first one, because it's the only game in the history of games that literally makes me feel physically sick playing it.
You get motion sickness from it.
Yeah.
Is it the vertiginous drops and stuff like that?
Yeah. Literally, I've had it. The jumping off the building. Obviously, you can hit the floor. That fraction of a second I hit the floor, I start heaving. I cannot play it. I want to, because the first one, I see what's so good about it, but I just can't play it because it makes me feel physically sick.
It is amazing. Jumping off the top of the fucking agency tower is so good. Oh, it's just bonkers. It's great.
0 out of 10 because it makes me feel sick.
Have you played Saints Row 4?
Yes. I reviewed it. I enjoyed Saints Row 4. I could play that.
But you could play that one, so why wouldn't you be able to play Crackdown?
I don't know. I don't know if it's an animation or whatever, but it's something about Crackdown. And Crackdown 2 just couldn't do it. So I don't know if it's an animation technique they use to try and get the falling type thing going on, but I couldn't do it. Saints Row 4, fine.
I've got a friend who's got a problem with first-person shooters. They make him feel incredibly sick, except he has put like 80 to 100 hours in Destiny, because the way Bungie do the motion sway and stuff like that, he can bear that a lot more than playing something like COD or Wolfenstein or something like that. It's really, really peculiar, because it's like all to do with the field of view and the sway and all that kind of thing. It's really, really weird. But
anyway, yeah, back to Forza Horizon 2.
Yes. Sorry. But yeah, no. It's so yeah. Drive Club. I've got a feeling I will go back to Drive Club when I've rinsed Forza, when it's down a bit more in price, and when I've got not really. I always have to have like a racing game around, because it's one kind of game that you can just chuck on and fanny about with for an hour without having to pay attention to plot and story and characters and stuff like that. You just hoon around and drive. Oh, I'm going over there, kind of thing.
You're not getting the crew then.
Well, I was in the PC beta 2 months ago, and I've got the PC borrow, so I want to see what's changed in those 2 months. But going on the one that I played on the PC, I won't be bothering with it until it at least comes down in price. I'd buy it for the social part, for my kind of group who we play with, but as a game, I won't bother with it because it wasn't very good. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Eh?
Stories in racing games.
Oh, we're not being negative, so I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, you're right.
The only one that works in is Driver, because that was absolutely fantastic. Driver San Francisco.
I was really hard on Driver San Francisco when it came out, and in hindsight, I was too hard on it because it is actually great. I kind of thought
my son, who is nearly 8, has put in 120 hours into the Xbox 360 version, and is currently 20 odd hours into the PS3 version to try and complete it.
What, of Driver?
Yeah.
How do you put that much time into that game? It's like if you did all the side stuff, it's like a 20-hour game, 15-hour game.
Yeah, I'm playing it. He is 5% of the missions. Because he literally goes on it and drives around San Francisco.
That's awesome.
Occasionally does a bit, but it was brilliant. Just to go slightly off track again with all this, with Burnout Paradise, when he was a bit younger with that, he used to get the controller and drive. He used to stop at the traffic lights, drive at the speed limit, and look for places to park his car. It was
Brilliant.
both the most frustrating, but also the most beautiful thing to watch.
That's why I can't play. I can't play games with my nephews. Because I mean, my other half gives me shit for it because I'm like, I have to go from A to B and get stuff done, which drove her nuts in World of Warcraft because it's like, right, we've got the quest, we're going to the quest guy, we're going to kick his head in, and then we're going to go back and take, you know, the loot or whatever back to him. And she's like, ooh, something to mine, ooh, something to skin. And I'm like, why are we not just going there and doing that? And kids are exactly the same. They're like, my overriding memory is when my eldest nephew, we were playing Rise of the Underminer on the PS2, and he is basically trying to break the game. He is trying to destroy the function of that game. He's going into walls and he's trying to hit everything, and I'm like, no, we've got to go up the screen and kill this guy. We're playing. Why aren't you playing? What are you doing over there? Why aren't you following me? No, go this way. No, please, just. And I went like, all right, that's great. Right, I'll see you later. It's like, because, and I miss that. I miss the thing of Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, and just driving in the rain to Crockett's theme, and, you know, just playing a game and arsing about with it, because everything, as you get older, you kind of go, right, I have this much time to do this in. I do, because I'm an arsehole. I've got this much time to do this in, and so you kind of go, I'm going to go do it and then get it done. And so there's no, I don't really play sandbox games much these days. I did Saints Row 4 because it was ridiculous, but like GTA 5, I pretty much did the story and that was it, because I couldn't be arsed to do all the side stuff. It's like people are going, you know, there's apparently some alien research, there's a crashed alien thing or whatever, or you know, there's looking for alien parts in GTA 5 or a ship or something like that, I forget. But I'm like, I can't be arsed with that. It's massive, you know. It's like, I need to be able to, somebody to say, go over there and do that, and that's what I do. And that just makes me a little bit sad. So
it does me. I mean, again, as much as I've got the reputation of I love all games, it doesn't matter. Apart from Sonic 4.
Nobody likes Sonic 4. Nobody likes
That
Sonic
is the
4.
worst game ever made.
Oh, give over. It's not the worst game ever made.
It bloody is, because it broke the original game. The original game had the concept, no inertia. Sonic needs inertia. There's no inertia in Sonic 4. It's unplayable. Worst game ever. I've even played Punch and Judy on the Spectrum.
Oh, yeah, but did you play Hunchback on the Spectrum? Hunchback on the Spectrum was fucking awful. It was bad.
But I was probably about 5 when I played it and didn't care.
I never got off the third screen. Tried to get, I think it was the third screen. There was also one where there was a rope going backwards and forwards, and you could never ever make that bloody rope. It was impossible. Whoever programmed, do you know what? I need to find out who programmed it and make my life quest to find them and hurt them for the amount of time I wasted on that game. I swear to God.
But one of my abiding memories of Lucas and childhood and gaming was I came in one Saturday morning after sleeping in, and he's playing a game. And I went, what are you playing, Lucas? And he showed me the case. He went, this one. And he had Grand Theft Auto 4. I was like, no! I'm not playing it. Then I looked at him and went, why are you parked there? And he was just in like this side alley, just parked. And he went, I run a red light down and I didn't want the police to catch me.
Brilliant.
And I just went,
yeah.
What? And he went, yeah, and he goes, I run the red light and there was a policeman there. I didn't want him to see me, so I saw the alley and I went in there. And I was just like,
leaps of logic.
That's not how the game's meant to be played. But do you know what? And I supervised him while I played it. Let me clarify a couple of bits first. I supervised him while I played it. Because again, all he wanted to do was drive around the city. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't care about the rest of it. And what really impressed me was that Rockstar had made this world where it's full of corruption, drugs, prostitution, murder, crime lords and everything. yet at the same time to make this game that's perfectly innocent for someone who wants it to be.
Yeah.
So
It's
when he played Simpsons Hit and Run, is that their version? He played that mowing down as many characters as he could.
Yeah, to be fair, so did I. But no, yeah, it's I don't know whether it's a byproduct or it's by design, but GTAs have always been like that. You know, it's only the story progression. I mean, it does give you the sand. It's like the kind of genre implies. It gives you a sandbox and provides you with the tools. But it, you know, if you want to use them tools, that's up to you. If you don't, well, you don't. So it's a funny beast. It really is.
I think part of me wishes I was still a kid who was dictated to by my parents what games I could have. Or
Make life a bit easier, wouldn't it?
Because I used to spend ages ago, because it'd be my mum would go, right, this is a game, I'm buying you this for your birthday, that's got to last you until Christmas.
Yeah.
I'd rinse that game.
Yeah.
In the day, it used to be either Pro Evo or FIFA. I'd have each one of those. And I used to spend the first, God knows how many hours, how many days without sleeping, editing the kits, editing the players, editing the emblems myself.
Yeah.
And that was part of it. That was part of the experience of Pro Evo. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely wonderful to do. I remember having ISS Pro on the SNES. I think I had the Mega Drive version. And part of the fun of that was trying to work out which players were meant to be which compared to their real life counterparts. And it was wonderful. Whereas now I can go out, I can get FIFA and try it. If I don't like it, I'll trade it in and get Pro Evo. And I won't have the time. I can't be bothered now to sit there for 20 odd hours editing kits.
No.
That's fun.
This is it. I mean, the kind of freedom of adulthood also diminishes the whole spectacle of it. Like, I can't remember. I have no idea how many times I've finished Sonic 2. I doubt I could finish it these days, not without save state. And you know, some of the I've gone back to Batman the movie on the Spectrum. One of my favourite games ever. I love it. It's brilliant. And I played it recently.
You had the really white back hook to hook onto things and swim through.
Yeah, it's 5 different levels. You've got this typical
that.
ocean thing. Yeah, it was brilliant, you know. But it's like I played it on emulator relatively recently, about 6 months ago, and aside from being able to remember most of the shortcuts through the first level, including a glitch that takes you through 2 or 3 floors, I got to like the second level with the Batmobile. I got my arse kicked. I couldn't get to the end of it. That game, again, like Sonic 2, I cannot count how many times I've finished that game, and yet now I'm all old and decrepit and ready for Glue Factory. I can't do it. I bet you if I got RoboCop on emulator and all on Spectrum, completed that, I bet I couldn't do it these days.
No. I completed one of the games I had on my Spectrum, and again, I know this probably wasn't the. I remember not caring about all this when I was younger, and it probably wasn't the definitive version. I had Head Over Heels on my Spectrum. I believe. Sorry.
I thought Head Over Heels might have been. I don't know, but yeah, no, it was great. It was great. Yeah.
I believe it was best on Amiga or something like that.
Right.
But I think the Amiga was the overpowered PC of today, wasn't it? Back then.
Yeah.
But I had it on the Spectrum. I completed that a couple of times over. And again, part of it was because you had, I think, half an hour before you could actually play the bloody game because it was loading.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if there was something slightly wrong with it because you've just spent half an hour getting this game to load. So you're fine.
Yeah.
But I completed that a few times over, and every part of me looks at it and goes, I want a remake of that, I want a remake of that, I want a remake of that. And I tried it about 18 months ago. And I didn't have the patience for it that I had back then. I looked at it and went, there's so much wrong with this game. Why did I even enjoy it? But I know why I enjoyed it, because for the time, it was a good game.
Yeah.
And if it was remade with today's mechanics, someone could do a really, really good job with it. Yeah. And I know for a fact there are certain games that have been influenced by that, but they're not head over heels, so I don't care.
No, No. I mean, there was quite a lot of isometric games on the Spectrum. Like Batman. There was a Batman isometric game, Head Over Heels. Saber Wolf, I think?
Was that isometric? Am I thinking of?
Or am I thinking of Nightlaw? I forget. It's one of the rare ones. Ultimate Play the Game. Yeah. I had... So, again, there was a weird... I had lots of Spectrum games, and I played all the ones I had, like buying fucking Ghostbusters from Boots on Mastertronic for $2.99 or whatever. But going like to the Amiga, I've still got my Amiga somewhere. I should really eBay it because I don't use it.
You got the one with the Mega Drive slot?
No, I haven't. It's just a 500 plus. It's got an extra hard drive which you needed for the 12-disc Monkey Island 2. Oh Jesus! But on the Amiga, obviously piracy was rife. You could copy things anyway. I doubt I put more than 3 or 4 hours into any of the games I had because I had so many of them. I mean, when you've got like 400 games, it's not unlike Steam. You know, Steam sales. You buy Steam games for pennies, and they sit in your bloody catalog in your library. I mean, it's the kind of big joke. Oh, you know, Steam sells on, goodbye wallet, and just accumulate games that you're not going to use. But I actually had to stop myself. I actually went nuts with it, and it's just crazy. It's absolute. I mean, my library. Where's my library? I've got 375 games.
Got more than me.
What do I need 375 fucking PC games for? I mean, some of them come out of the Humble Bundles. You don't have a choice in the early days. But it's like, you kind of go to the grid view and you go, right, okay, I don't remember buying that. I don't remember buying that. I'm pretty sure I accidentally rebought Bioshock 1 and 2 from one of the Humble Bundles and redeemed them because it doesn't tell you if you've already got them on the Humble Bundle.
I am convinced that periodically Steam adds games to your list that you have not bought.
It's like the opposite of the things that take your socks out of the washing machine. It's something that puts games into your library.
They're like drug pushers. Like, it's your first look free, but Steam does it with you've not bought anything for a while. Have a little taste of that. Oh my god! What? How have I got this many games? When did I buy them? And they're not even in Humble Bundles. Why have I bought them?
Stop fucking... It doesn't help.
I've changed now because my whole concept is, if it's an indie game, which is what I used to buy on Steam because my PC could run those, I don't buy them on Steam anymore because they're going to come to Vita eventually.
And they'll be free on PS Plus.
Yeah, if they ever get released on the day they're meant to do. But
you see, this is a weird thing because PS Plus is the weirdest. I have the weirdest relationship with it because I pay now to play online on the PS4. Fine, okay, and you get the games which are free. No, they're not free because you're paying for a sub. But it's like I've got to the point now where I'm going to stop buying new games when they come out. On Vita and stuff, because it's like Luftrausers. I bought Luftrausers when it came out. It was only, what is it, 2 or 3 months old?
I wasn't that now. It's about 6 to 7 months old.
Really? Now. I don't know if I can't be. Time contracts and expands, but I'm like, it's free on PS Plus. It's like Dragon's Crown. That came on PS Plus eventually, and all. It's like, well, if I'm patient enough, which I can be, because I've got enough freaking games to play, then I'll just wait for it to come. Which is counter. It doesn't help because it's not me giving the. What's it say? I can't fucking see that.
17th for the 3rd.
Shut up! Never came out. No, because that'd imply that I've got no idea what happened to the last 6 months.
17th for the 3rd, 2014 was when it was last updated.
Right. I think I need to have a word with me, Sam. Anyway, I think we've got off topic. We were talking about something really important, I'm sure.
I think we should talk about just generally how great we've got it.
We've got it.
And I've got over 50 games on my bloody Vita. That's just.
Have you got like a 64 gig memory card?
No, I've got a 32 gig card with a crap ton of indies.
Ah, okay, yeah. Mine's
Yeah, I
downstairs. So
haven't been before.
mine's downstairs. I mean, I'm currently trying to wrap my head around Bind of Isaac, which I bought in a Steam sale on the PC, the first one, not the Rebirth, and put about 3 minutes into it. But I've just before I came on here, I was just giving it a go, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I get this. I'm not sure. I just don't. I don't. If I don't understand it, I find the non 8-way shooting thing a little bit weird because it's
Oh,
only
what the
like.
4-way shooting got?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a bit peculiar, but yeah, no, I mean, it's one of the things that angers me when people go, modern gaming's rubbish, and it's like, it's not. You've either got rose tinted glasses on, or you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but I don't get how you can say it's rubbish. I mean, next year is disgusting in the wealth of games that are coming out. I don't even know where I'm going to find the time. I'm just glad that Arkham Knight got pushed back to June.
Oh, has it? Good.
It's just bonkers. It's absolutely crazy.
Because I want to play that, but again, it's one of those games going, I'm going to have to try and leave that. See, if I was clever, I mean, I know we're lucky because we get, we do get a selection of games for now because we review them. And with PS Plus, we get the free or subscription-based games, however you want to call them.
Yeah.
Which means what you're actually paying for in the long run is very little. You're not actually buying many new games.
No.
Well, with trading in as well, you save money.
Yeah.
Now, I actually want to touch, hopefully when we've got more of us together next week or the week after or something like that, on with the digital games, what I feel should be happening with yearly update games, such as your FIFAs, possibly your Call of Duties, that sort of thing, and licenses. Because you look at the way things like Photoshop work from Adobe. For those that actually don't pirate it for a start, is the if you've bought a previous version of an Adobe product, the next version of that is cheaper.
Yeah.
And I can see that sort of thing coming into games. Or you've now got the Creative Cloud thing, where for Creative Cloud for Adobe, you pay £40 a month, but you've got all their programs completely up to date for the life of your subscription. Now, I'm not sure how it could work, but if you had something similar where maybe EA Access, for example, is a good example of this. If they was to make that a bit more expensive per month, but for that, you get the latest versions of all their games, but we revoke the license to the older ones, I can see people going for that, just to stay up to date.
Yeah.
People would happily probably pay more than £40 across the year to do that. So they'll probably make more money doing something like that.
Make money? I think they make enough money.
No, but they make more money per product.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden you'll get the people who weren't buying Madden because they don't fancy the Madden game, because they don't want to spend 40 quid to try it, that are mental for Ultimate Team on FIFA are probably the same idiots that would try Madden, go, oh, this is actually pretty good. Oh, it's got Ultimate Team. I've got some spare money to buy cards.
The Ultimate Team thing baffles me. It's like the release this week, not the existence of Ultimate Team, because Ultimate Team is essentially a bloody CCG, which I'm very familiar with. But it's like a what? Collectible card game. Basically it's like Magic.
Like Magic, Hearthstone, things like that. Yeah.
That's my understanding of it. My understanding is that you open packs of dudes, and you can put them, and you make your Ultimate Team, as I understand it. And so they sell an Ultimate Team copy of the game for like 65 quid or whatever the fuck it is, which works out cheaper than buying the packs. But they're still going to buy the packs anyway. They're making money hand over fist. It's crazy. The biggest problem that we've got with like incremental updates, like revoking licenses and stuff, is the same problem that's what we got digital distribution, in that the internet infrastructure in this country and in America, in fact in everywhere at the minute apart from some places in Europe, it's just not there. You can't do it. I mean, like I don't know what's up with PSN today, but it took about 20 minutes to download a 335 meg Binding of Isaac game, which it shouldn't. And I tried to download the club beta, and it said like 100 plus hours. I'm like, why? I check my speed, it's fine. You know, I checked stuff on Xbox One, it's fine, so it's PSN. But I'm still only getting here. I only get 1.2 megasecond. You know, it's like, and if you've got, I mean, Titanfall on PC is a good example. 50 meg, 30 meg, 50 gig, 30 gig, and it's uncompressed audio for some reason or other. But you know, that's hours and hours and hours. If you've not got fibre, and not everywhere's got fibre.
Yeah.
So until it catches up with it, then that's just not going to happen. At least I don't see it happening. So anyway, we're digressing again. What are we talking about?
I mean, I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect answer for what's going to be the best way of distributing games, because one, retail is not perfect for at all. It's not perfect at all.
No.
There's monopolies now. It's competition's gone. I remember sort of going picking up FIFA 10, 11 for pennies with my shopping because they was selling it a lot, which was great for us. And then I remember the next year, Game were doing it at a stupidly low price if you traded in the old version of FIFA. So
Yeah.
it was like you took in FIFA 10, you got FIFA 11 for 20 quid. Knowing they could only sell that game for 99p because no one wanted it.
It's always
Yeah.
It's always the same. I mean, the big problem when I used to work in retail, we had to preempt the new FIFA coming out because people would chop it in early, and so you ended up with 50 copies of FIFA X and FIFA Y were due out 2 weeks later. And if you bear in mind that you've paid this much for that copy of FIFA, but ultimately you're going to end up selling it for that much. And so you kind of have to manage these expectations. And people got arsy because, but it's, FIFA. And it's like, well, yeah, but new one's due out or new one is out. And,
Yeah. Well,
It's
it's
just-
something I want to discuss properly next time because I think there's actually a very good discussion to be had there.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish this off tonight because there's only the two of us, and I feel like we're just having a chat rather than actually.
Yeah, I think we've
people.
gone a bit. Yeah, well, I think we need some structure. I think we need to. Yeah.
But still, it's good. So yeah, we'll hopefully get some feedback. We had one viewer tonight live, but I don't think I pushed it as much as I want to. So, but hopefully more people will watch us not live.
I think if we I think we need to prepare ourselves a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a growing process. We're getting there.
We'll get there.
Coming up on the site this week, we've got a few different reviews coming up. I'm going to do Call of Duty.
Okay.
I'm bloody enjoying it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool.
Might as well. I'm surprised. I'm enjoying Call of Duty. So I'm going to do Call of Duty. I've got a couple of indie games I might write up. I think I might do a write up on the Binding of Isaac as well, even though that's not one we need to review because I'm intrigued.
I've been plunging some time in Sunset Overdrive, so I'll get that done fairly soon, hopefully before the weekend.
Excellent. And I believe we should have Legend of Korra go up. It's a little bit late compared to others, but hey, we spent more time with it and we'll give you a proper review. We're not rushing them out the door like those other major sites.
Yeah.
Also, another first for us, we've got tomorrow night, hopefully it'll be up tomorrow night, if not Friday night, which, if you're not watching us live, it's in the past anyway, but we've got an interview with Mike Dorr, from the creator of Vita game Don't Die Mr. Robot, which was going to be a bog standard interview about what's it like to create a Vita game, but he's been screwed around something rotten over the past couple of weeks with the release of his game by Sony, that it's going to hopefully be a bit more of an interesting interview than originally planned.
Right.
So that'll be up on YouTube and on the site hopefully by the weekend.
Cool.
So anything you want to add before we go, Steve?
No, I've said all I can say. I just next time we might be a bit more interesting, hopefully.
I'll gather some notes. And we probably won't stick to them at all.
No, probably not.
But we did talk about the fireworks game, so it is slightly topical.
Fantastic.
Thank you for watching. Well, we've got 2 viewers now.
Yeah.
Sorry, for the second view up.
Nah, bye.
Watch it again from the start when it goes up. Take care, everyone.